Well, welcome everybody to our online program on addiction and recovery from the Sunshine Coast Health Center up here in Powell River, British Columbia. And we've been talking about Dr. Wong's PURE model. This model he developed to show the components of meaning in someone's life. And so what Dr. Wong's done is he's very well versed in the various ideas going around in this whole meaningful living business, and he sort of lumped them all together in this thing he calls PURE, which is purpose, understanding, responsible action, and evaluation. So last time we talked about purpose, and this idea that if you had purpose, you had a direction in your life. This was, Dr. Wong calls this like the engine, the fuel, and the steering wheel. And the most important component in his four components. But understanding the second component is also important. Dr. Wong says we're all meaning-making creatures. We're forever trying to make sense of things. Even if we don't have all the facts, we'll still try to make sense of things. And sometimes we'll just have an idea of what's going on or what we think's going on, and then we'll see something and we'll just assume. One of the more interesting things that we found at the center was sort of a visitor was here, and they're looking through the center, and then they leave and they say, "Oh my, you certainly have a lot of staff here." And we say, "That's not the staff; those are the clients." So, but they obviously had something in their mind of what someone with an addiction looks like. Maybe they thought, I don't know, some homeless fellow or somebody like that, or somebody walks around with a bottle in a brown paper bag. I'm not sure, but they had some image. So, anyway, in this meaning making, sometimes we make mistakes. We look around, we make judgments, interpretations that aren't correct. But whatever we're doing, we're always it's almost like a natural instinct is to make sense of things, and that includes ourselves. All of us have some idea of who we are. Who are we under the roles we play, the role of the worker, the role of the parent, the role of the neighbor. There's still, most of us, when we wake up each morning, we still think we're the same person. There's some continuity in our lives. So to get an understanding of that, we know that people with addictions have a very warped understanding of who they are. Many of them sort of reduce themselves to, well, who are you? Well, I'm an addict, period. And maybe that's sort of all they look at, or I'm a bad person, or geez, I do so many wrong things, and yet maybe that's not the whole story. Maybe there's something wider, and this is all part of understanding. And in fact, one of Dr. Wong's big points would be to gain an understanding that sort of matches reality. So you want to understand something as close as you can to what's actually going on. So maybe a person looking at himself, maybe he can pick out all the weaknesses and limitations, which is pretty typical of our clients. But after a while, maybe they can start looking at their strengths and the things that maybe they can use as a gift to others. All of these things are part of the second component, this understanding. So not merely the situations and how I make sense of this event or that event, or what another person is doing or going through, but also an understanding of myself and what's important to me. Okay, that's sort of the thinking component, or the official term is cognitive component. Anyway, that's it for this time, and we'll be back next time with another video on Dr. Wong's model.